Mary, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed palette week last week when you're seeing this anyway. But yeah, I thought I would do a ranking video. I have all of my Nomad Cosmetics palettes here, and I have 8 of them, so this should be pretty quick. But I will go ahead and rank each of them. I've tried all of them, and here are my opinions on them. Today, actually, I ended up wearing the actually 8th place one, as it turns out. I thought it would be higher up, but when I looked at all of them, thought about all of them, had my opinions about all of them, this one is the one that ended up on 8 through no fault of its own. They're all really good. I like the quality. I like the colors. I like how most of them have definite neutral options, and then, you know, with a pop of color if you want it that way, or you can just go colorful. So, you know, it just depends on how you like to wear them. But in 8th place is the Nomad Orient Express, and this one looks like this. I will do swatches of the palette, but they will be inserted after each palette. This one, while it has decent depth, it's not, you know, great, but there definitely is depth here and then lesser extent here. But and it definitely has some colors, you know, some pops of blues, reds, greens, golds. It is primarily a neutral palette. I do like that about this. Just didn't create my favorite looks with this palette. And while there are definitely things you can do, I think it's sort of limited with this color story, and for that reason it is at the bottom. It does have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to say 8 shimmers, and then the rest are all mattes, so that's 10 mattes. So yeah, I do enjoy the palette. It's just not my favorite. So here is the color story for the Nomad Orient Express, and then it looks like this. So that's the whole color story. Starting from the top, we have Bon Voyage, that's that blue. Then the pearly sort of iridescent pinky white color is Paris. Then Bar 3674, and then White Glove. Grand Suite is the green. Then Istanbul is the gold. That pinky one that's hard to see is London. The beige is Guilty 12. And then the blue is Simplon Pass. The red is Roaring 20s. The champagne is Arlberg Pass. The next brown color is Baby Grand. Then the darker brown color is L'Oriental. The yellow is Golden Age. The green is Étoile du Nord. The goldy color is Venice. Then the light one that you can barely see on my skin tone is Côte d'Azur. And then that last brown is Nightcap. So yeah, that's the Orient Express. And then next is in number 7th is the Marrakesh Medina palette and cover. I love the packaging, but and I mean, I like the color story. I like how it's mostly neutral with a little pop of color here and then like a yellow down here. But it's just I think It's mainly like either satin or shimmer with a couple true mattes, but not many. And I think, you know, the quality is okay. I mean, it's pretty good, you know, but it's just not my favorite quality. It's not my favorite color story. I did like that I was able to come up with a pinky ready look with this. So, but and I also like the fact that you could easily go green and or yellow if you wanted to, or you could stay totally neutral. So I mean, I do like the versatility. It's just not my favorite of the Nomad palettes. So for that reason, it's number 7. This is number 7, Marrakesh Medina, and that is the color story. And then once again, here it is, all swatched out. Yeah, so let's see. We have Hammam, then Golden Mosque, and Desert Sands. So those are those 3 there. And then the red is Cafe Arab. And then the blue is Jardin Majorelle. The mustard yellow is turmeric, henna, and then the ready one next to the henna is Spice Market, followed by Persian Rose. Then the green-ish color is Oasis of Riyadh. Then we have, let's see, the argan fruit is the yellow. Sweet aubergine is the brown. Red City is the burnt orange. The souks is the pinky sparkly color, and then Palmieri is the greeny color on the bottom. So yeah, that is that palette. Next, I really thought I'd like, so in 6th place, I really thought I'd like this palette more than I actually did. This might be a theme for at least the bottom couple here. But it was just too light. I had to use like a white base. So this is the Tokyo Harajuku palette. It's a pastels palette. Pastels can work for me, but sometimes don't. I do love this row, which is why it's above like the other 2 I mentioned. But in general, it's just a little too light, even with this gray down here. But the charcoal gray down here. But ultimately, it's just a little too light. It's a little too finicky. This row is all mattes. This row is satins, and this row is like their special shimmer formula. And I actually really like this row, as I said. And I don't mind the matte or the satin row. The matte row is okay, but it's just all a little too light for my skin tone. I have to use a white base. It's a whole process, so it's not my favorite, but I do like it, especially for this shimmer down at the bottom, technically. So this is number 6. This is the Tokyo Harajuku palette. Inside looks like that. And then there is the complete color story, starting from the peach. It's kawaii. The purple is Takenoko Suko. The yellow is Melty Room. The mint green is Kakigori. The cobalt gray is Visual K. Then the pink is Lolita. The other minty green, that's slightly darker, is Now Is Forever. The light peachy beigey color is Hanami. Then Kaiharu. And then that sort of lighter gray is Koroi Niji. Then onto the bottom row, which is Decora, and then the yellowy, which shifts pink, is Zaku Zaku. Then the next purpley, slightly darker than the top one, is Takashita Dori. Then the sparkly mint green is Moshi Moshi. And then that last one there is Otaku maybe. Yeah, so that is Harajuku, the Tokyo Harajuku palette. Next, this one, I actually am surprised it ended up as high as it did. So this is 5th. And it's the Berlin Underground. At first, I really didn't think I'd like it. I mean, this was before I really liked this color story and the grunginess of this palette. But I got this one actually in an Ipsy. I think this was my first exposure to the brand. I didn't think much of it. Then I finally tried it when I started getting into more grungy looks and stuff. And I really like this palette. My only complaint is that there are only like a couple actual true mattes, a couple of satins, and then the rest are all shimmers. But it does make some really nice grungy looks, and it's easy to use, and I really enjoy the color story, and so for that reason it's where it is. Palette is Berlin Underground. That is what it looks like, and here it is all swatched out. So from the top, the silver white is Kreuzberg, followed by SO36, then The Wall, Eastside Gallery, and Techno are the first 5 there. See, the next 5, starting from the green, is NDW, Howden, Poor But Sexy, Touchless, and then this like purpley one down at the bottom is Love Parade. And the last 5, starting from the 2 that basically look alike, are Deutsch Punk, and then Chaos Stage, Iranian Straub, Hansa, and Club Nacht is the black. So yeah, that's what this palette looks like. This is the Berlin Underground. And then number 4 is the palette that they discontinued after a very short run. I got it on launch day. I still have it in my collection. Well, as an Asian, I understand where people are coming from. I really enjoy the palette. Yes, the timing might not have been the best, but I do like it, and it's the Shanghai palette. I love the fact that it opens like this, has 2 flaps and then mirrors on each side. But I really like how like this is sort of like the bright side, and it has all the shimmers, and this is like sort of the more natural side, and it's has all the mattes except for the 2 middle shades, the white and the black, which are reversed. So the shimmery white is over here and the matte black is over here. I just like the aesthetics of the palette, and I do hope that they figure out another way to release this, maybe like under a different name or something, or all singles or whatever. But I really do enjoy this palette, and yeah, I like when I most recently did a look with this, I used these for so the blue, the sort of aqua, the lime green and the yellow, and then I used these two greens over here primarily, with a little bit of help from the black to deepen up. But yeah, I really liked the looks I've come with. I've also used this side of the palette too, and then done a more neutral crease, etc. But yeah, I really just like this palette, and I'm really sorry that it's you can't get it anymore. And that's actually kind of the reason that I put it where I did, just because you can't get your hands on it. So felt I couldn't go quite as high, but I really do like this palette. So this is number 4, the Shanghai Yin Yang palette. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Sorry about the noise. So that is the color story. And then there's the whole palette. So we'll start at the top. We have Longhua, Balance, and Puxi. And then we have Pudong, Harmony, and Golden Prosperity. Then we have Snake is the green matte, and then Sun is the white, and then Yin is the next one. And then Pink is Yang, black is Moon, green is Dragon. Then the next 3 are Fairmount Peace, Jingpei, and Bund. And then the last 3 are Lu Jiazui, Haipei, and Oriental Pearl. So yeah, that's the Shanghai palette. And now we're into the top 3. So in 3rd place is the Cartagena Mágica palette, and looks like this. If the only reason this isn't like number 1 is because there isn't a deepening up shade. If there were a deepening up shade, this would totally be number 1. I'd love like a deeper red, a deeper orange, even a deeper purple would be nice. But other than that, I mean, I just love this palette, and I love the looks I can do with it. I love especially these 3 here, and then these. So I like this 2 rows of shimmers here. So this row here is all shimmers, this row here is all shimmers. And I really love the shimmers in this. And then I also like this bright yellow here in the center, and then this orangey here. I'm sad though that this is the deepest color in the palette, and that's just not deep enough for what I was trying to do. But I do really like this palette. Just can't get quite as many looks as I had hoped. So yeah, for that reason it's number 3, but definitely would have been number 1 if it had like 1 or 2 more deeper shades. So the number 3 palette was the Cartagena Mágica palette, and it looks like that. And then here is the whole color story swatched out, starting from the top 5 right there. We have Alpha, Persenguer Sueños, Toda la Vida, Ares El Mundo, and La Diosa Coronada. So that's those 5. The next 5 are right there. And let's see, we have Cien Años de Soledad, Realismo Magico del Amor, and Otro Demonios is that red right there. And then let's see, Más Ephemera, Más Intensa, Amores, Contrariatas, dos, and then the La Luz Melva, and Omega is the last one. So yeah, that's the Cartagena Mágica palette. Okay, and then number 2 is Nomad's newest palette, and it's America's Parks. I really love the packaging of all the Nomad palettes, and this one I especially like. It has a whole bunch of like little, I guess, badges that are the various national parks. So we have like Grand Canyon, Zion, Yellowstone, Yosemite, etc. I really love the packaging on this. I love the colors in here. It's a nice sort of grungy palette that's a little lighter than the Berlin Underground, so I do like it for that. I like these 3 central shades here and the swirls in them. Formula is a little drier than the formula I'm used to for their shimmers, but I do like it, and it performs really well. And it's just a nice classic palette, and I really enjoyed using this, and I gotta say, as I said, I really enjoy the packaging, which, while it isn't like a huge contributing factor to where it ranks, it definitely is a factor. And I do like the fact that this one's like talking about like home, the US, so that's actually really nice, and so for those reasons it ranks number 2. Okay, here's the number 2 palette. It is America's Parks, and then there is the color story, and there it is all swatched out. So the first 5 are Old Faithful, Cuyahoga Valley, Everglades, Arcadia Lighthouse, and South Rim. The next 5 are Mammoth Cave, Teton Range, Hoh Rainforest, Mount Denali, and Big Bend. Then the bottom 5 are Giant Redwoods, Delicate Arch, Blue Ridge Parkway, The Narrows, and Half Dome. So yes, that is that whole palette. That's the America's Parks palette. And then finally is the my favorite Nomad palette, and it's the Iceland Fire and Ice. This totally surprised me. I did not think this would come in at number 1, but when I laid out the top 3, which I had to do because I couldn't quite decide which order I wanted them in, I just kept finding myself being drawn to this. This is the Iceland Fire and Ice palette, and this is the color story, and I just love the whole blues over here, and then I have grown to love the central, like orangey red colors, and then I like the grunginess of this row, and then this row just I love. It's a nice like lavender, and then green, and then sort of indigo color here. So I just really like the this palette. It's just a nice I love the looks I can do. It's the packaging is stellar. It's ice sort of on the front, or water theme on the front, and fire theme inside. Oops, sorry, try not to blind you, but there we go. But yeah, it's just a super nice palette, and I really do love all the colors in here, and they all perform really well. And I do like the fact that it has this color, which helps to deepen up a look if needed. And even this blue makes it pretty good if we're on the darker side too. So it's just a really nice palette, and I am super glad I have it. And yes, this is the number one favorite, my number one favorite Nomad palette. So my number one palette is Iceland Fire and Ice, and that's what the inside color story looks like. And here it is all swatched out. So this first group of 5 is Frigg, River Glacier, Hekla, Odin, and Elf Frame. And this next set of 5 here is God's Waterfall, Elves, Muspelheim, Gallows Lava, and Northern Lights. Then the final 5 here is Niflheim, Njord, Hell, Dark Castles, and Valkyries. So yeah, that is the Iceland Fire and Ice, and that is my favorite palette. I think I don't have a few, which I think were limited edition prior to when I jumped on board with the whole Nomad brand. There are a couple other smaller ones that I don't have. I think there are 2 9-pan ones that I don't have, and a couple like quads that I don't have. But that is my Nomad collection, and I'm super happy to have all of them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, comment, any of that, that'd be great. But yeah, I hope you have a good day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.